Hello boys and girls, this is a review video for Unit 12. We are going to be taking the Unit 12 test pretty soon, so I thought we could just review a few things. First, we have some two-syllable words. These are the same ones as in the other video. When we have a word, we think about what we notice, what we see to help us break down the word. So like in the first one, I see a U and a P, and usually when there's a vowel with a consonant, it's usually short. So I can try up, and then I see another vowel between two consonants, and that's usually short too. So I would say s, et, set, put it together, and it's upset. We know that words with two syllables means that it has two parts. It's not two separate words like a compound, like backpack or butterfly. It's just two parts. Sometimes a two-syllable word can be a compound, but not always. Like, what's a good example? Like birthday. Birth is a word, day is a word. They're both one syllable. You put them together and it's birthday. But like I said, it's not always a compound. Usually it's just two parts. Like these other ones. These are all just two parts to the word. We've got plastic, reptile, dislike, and absent. Only in Fundations, when we write two-syllable words, we separate the syllables and put a line underneath. And again, that's only when we're practicing Fundations, we're just writing the words. So, for example, if we were taking the test and I said, write the word napkin, you would write N-A-P, put a space, and then put K-I-N. So you put the first syllable, a space, and then the second syllable. If you forget and you put it all together, it's okay. I'm not going to mark it wrong. But you do have to make sure that you underline the separate syllables. So, nap and kin. So what I mean is, let's say you wrote it as napkin all together. Of course that's correct because that's how you write a word. As long as you have the markings under the separate syllables, it would be right. Then we have explode. Underline EX, that's the first syllable. Underline plode, that's the second syllable. Be sure too, when you're looking at words that are two syllables, that you think of long vowel sounds too. If you see an E at the end, chances are it's going to be silent E and then the long vowel sound. The next one is a good example of a two-syllable word that's also a compound. We have cup and cake. Then we've got pick, nick, picnic. Then him, self, himself. So again, when you're writing the word in Fundations or on a Fundations test, you want to separate the two syllables and underline each syllable separately. If you forget and you write it all together like I did a napkin, that's okay. Just make sure you have the two lines under the separate syllables. Okay, let's move on to the long vowel silent E sound and how we write it. Because when I first made this video, I said you didn't have to worry about writing it because you only have to write it like this on a test and we're not taking a test. Well, back then I didn't know that we had to take the Fundations test. It wasn't up to me. So when we have the long vowel silent E sound. When we write it, for each one, we write the vowel, a dash, and then E at the end. And I know that can be a little bit confusing because when you do the marking on a long vowel silent E word, you underline it and you write V-E. Think about it this way. When you're writing it under the word, that's just to show that it's a long vowel silent E word. But when you're writing it for the letter, now you're saying which letter it is. So that's why it's not a V, it's the letter. So for example, we would say long A, safe A. And when we write it, I would say, oh, what's the way we write long A? You'd write A-E. Long E, P-E. Oh, what's the way we write it? E-E. Long I, pine I, we write it I-E. Long O, home O, we write it O-E. And then for long U, for both sounds, we would write it U-E. And remember, long U is U, mule, U, and long U, rule, U. And either way, it's still U-E. So keep that in mind on the Fundations test because there might be one or two like that. So when we're in the sounds part and I say, how would you write long A? Or how would you write long O? That's what I'm talking about. These right here. And the last thing we're going to review is our trick words. There were some good ones in this unit. A lot. We had a lot for this unit, I mean. We have P-E-O-P-L-E. It's people. M-O-N-T-H is, what do you think? Month. B-E-E-N. Ben. Looks like bean, but it's Ben. Have you been a good worker? L-I-T-T-L-E. Easy one from kindergarten. Little. W-A-N-T. Want. O-W-N. Own. And then we have those abbreviations on the bottom. You only have to know the abbreviation, not the whole word. So it's M-R period for Mr. and M-R-S period for Mrs. And what's very important about Mr. and Mrs. when you write it, it has to have, what do you think? A capital. Yes. Okay. So I hope this review was helpful. And I know we'll all do a great job on our test.